What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some NHL trade rumors from Specters Hockey. As always, the article is down below, but we'll be talking about the Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs mostly in this article. Pretty much that's what it's going to be about in this article, in this video. But of course, I do get the information from Specters Hockey. Now, before I start this rumor video, a lot of people get angry and say, well, all of this isn't true. I just read what is on the site, I give my thoughts on it, and I give my opinion, while you guys can also get a second opinion from Specters Hockey, which I said, the link is down below. None of this stuff is set in stone. I have to say it all the time now because people get angry. I'm not saying all of this is going to happen. It's just speculation. We're in August. We need to talk about something to do with hockey. It's fun to talk about trade rumors, even if they don't happen. So you guys can have your own opinion. I'm going to have mine. Let's get right into it. So, of course, we do know the Edmonton Oilers are looking to probably get another defenseman. Now, what's been talked about in this article, and I think it's kind of common sense, with Sekera out now, and he could have like a career-ending injury with his Achilles there, with the torn Achilles, whatever. He could be done. So, you know, Sekera's not going to drive their whole blue line, but at the same time, the Oilers already don't have a strong blue line, in my opinion. I mean, there was even rumors that the Oilers were going to trade Clefbaum last season when they were struggling to figure out their identity. Larson hasn't been as great as they want to, but he is a good piece, as is Clefbaum, on that blue line. And of course, they've been talking about, you know, bringing up, you know, Bear or Bouchard to come in and, you know, do something as the young guys. But you kind of don't want to rush them into roles that they might not be ready for right away to give them heavy minutes. So there's been some rumors of them maybe giving an offer to some of the free agents that are left over, like Spiza, who might be a little bit expensive, as the Oilers only have about $4.9 million in cap space. And there's even been some rumors of them maybe bringing back Brandon Davidson on a professional tryout contract. Now, all of these options aren't really great. I mean, Spiza would probably be decent. I think Enstrom is a guy that's left there too. Sorry, I was just making sure I was getting them right there. Garrison is on there, Franzen. Like, there's some options that they could, you know, put on that blue line. They might not be the greatest, or what people like to call them, the sexy options. When you don't see a big superstar name, people go, okay, well, this isn't going to help them. But if it kind of packs in the blue line a little bit, I mean, I don't really like Franzen as much as some people, but he might be a decent guy to bring in for cheap. They just, you know, they still need to sign Darnell Nurse too, who's an RFA, and this team is already close to the cap, so they're going to have to do something. There's also some rumors about them maybe going to the trade market, which I am on the side of the Oilers making a move when it comes to a trade. Now, I honestly would not be against them bringing in a guy for like Spiza or, you know, Franzen to fill in their blue line and stuff like that, because I think it makes sense to not rush the young guys in and make them do so much right away. But I think, honestly, the Oilers should try to make a trade. Now, the biggest thing is people are like, okay, buy out Lucic, trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, boom, bring in other stuff. As much as Lucic has a really bad contract, I mean, the Oilers need to find depth scoring somehow. Lucic is going to give you a decent amount of points, but he's definitely not worth what they're paying him. Like, we've gotten past that. Lucic is not worth the money that the Oilers are paying him. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has good chemistry with McDavid, and it's going to take a lot to pry him away from the Edmonton Oilers. We all know that. It's stated in the article, but it's common sense. So the Oilers are going to have to get crafty here, because they don't want to give up away like too much of their future away. Like, they've got some picks that they could trade, probably some, you know, decent prospects. There's even some rumors that Puljujarvi might be a guy that they can move if they feel like he's not really going to give them what they need. So I don't know if they should rush to make a trade, but the Oilers are not stacking up against a lot of teams in the West. And I stated this in a video I posted before. If the Oilers are serious about getting back into the playoffs, you can't just rely on McDavid to just be out of this world amazing, which he is. But you can't expect him to do everything and have Draisaitl pick up whatever he leaves, you know, and do his job, because they both do amazing. Nugent-Hopkins is good. And you can't expect Talbot to just stand on his head every game if the defense is bad. So the Oilers are going to have to address some of their issues. So whether that means a trade or picking up some of these free agent guys, they might have to do that. And this is where some of the trade rumors kicks in, because two names that were, you know, listed as possibilities were Justin Falk, who's been tossed around quite a bit, and Torrey Krug, who was linked to the Oilers last season, or at least at the beginning of the offseason here. So First off, let me just talk about Justin Falk, because again, it's in the article, but with my opinion, it's kind of the same opinion as what's in the article, but I try to give my opinion more and give you guys the article as a second source. I think that because of the fact that Skinner didn't really, cost too much, although he is a upcoming UFA, that's kind of why Falk isn't. Falk still has a contract till the 1920 season, I believe. So he's going to probably cost you a little bit more, if not the same. So the Oilers might not be prepared to give up all of that. Plus, they're going to have to get crafty again with their cap situation. Like I said, they're going to have to give money out in order to bring in a guy like Falk, even though his cap hits at 4.8, I believe, which is pretty good. But he's not a defensive stud. But if you put him with Larson or somebody else, maybe Clefbaum, it might make sense. Although I think they want Clefbaum and Larson to be together, ideally right-handed. I believe one's right, one's left. I think Larson's right-handed and Clefbaum's a left-handed shot. Ideally, they'd like that defensive defenseman offensive style of game with Larson and Clefbaum, Larson being the defensive guy and Clefbaum being the offensive type of player. But I just don't know how the Oilers are going to be able to do this. Now, again, the name that keeps getting tossed out is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. I would not trade Ryan Nugent-Hopkins for Justin Falk. I mean, that deal doesn't make sense to me if the Oilers need scoring as well. This is the problem. You're going to have to maybe consider trading a guy like Jesse Puljujarvi, and I just don't think that they should do that. And again, I'm just throwing names out there because I don't know, how much other prospects they want to end up giving up, but I did see some rumors where they could think of Puljujarvi as a piece if they feel they're desperate to make a move. The other name that's being tossed around in there, like I said, is Torrey Krug. And people are saying the Bruins would have to give Torrey Krug plus for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, which would make sense to me. I think Krug would be a good fit with the Oilers, but again, you're missing out on Ryan Nugent-Hopkins' chemistry with Connor McDavid. So something's going to have to give with this Oilers team. I don't think this is a playoff team with how they're, shaped up right now. I think that even with this injury now, it just makes it even worse. Their blue line needs help. They need depth scoring. And guys like Falk and Krug would be great help, but it's just really difficult for the Oilers to give up too much right now, because if the Oilers, let's say for the next 2 or 3 years miss the playoffs, they continue to play very bad, they're going to want some of these young guys to come in and at least help boost the team a little bit. They're going to want good draft picks and stuff like that. So if they deal all these picks and prospects and it doesn't work, it's going to look bad on them, and their fan base is probably going to be very frustrated. So this is kind of just a general discussion, but I'd also like to ask you guys, do you think the Oilers should make a trade for Torrey Krug, Justin Falk, or for another defenseman, or just sign some of the free agents that are available right now, or maybe even a bit of both? Tell me what you guys would think down below. Moving on to the Leafs real quick, there won't be too much, but again, it kind of links Justin Falk as well, because James Myrtle was talking about the fact that, maybe the Leafs are kicking tires on acquiring a defenseman, but he believes that, like the Oilers, they would have to give up a little bit more than they want to acquire him. I'm going to remind you guys, Justin Falk was a minus 26 last season, and a guy that everybody loves to hate, Jake Gardiner, was a plus 9 last year. And let's not forget, Gardiner put up over 20 points more than Justin Falk. So the defenseman style is not coming from Justin Falk. If you guys are looking for a defensive style defenseman, you're going to want to get a guy like Tanev from Vancouver, but that's going to cost you probably much more. So it's going to be tough, and James Myrtle just said they might be kicking tires thinking about it. He doesn't know if it's something that they could be considering, but it would kind of make sense for the Leafs to go after a depth blue liner instead of trying to give up too much right away for a top-of-the-line defender. I'm still on board with the Leafs seeing how their defensive core works out at the beginning of the season. If it's still doing good and by the deadline the Leafs are just killing it, they're playing amazing, the Leafs might actually think of going, okay, we could really upgrade the D now. Maybe it's time to overpay a little bit to grab a really good defenseman. That is when I think the Leafs should and will do it, because right now they might overpay even more for a full season of that defenseman. It kind of sucks. You would want the Leafs to get a really good defenseman for a full season, but it could cost them quite a bit. And at the deadline, that price might go down a little bit. So There could be quite a lot of sellers this year that are selling off defensemen, and you know, the free agent class for 2019 is pretty good, even though Ellis is a guy that just got scratched off that list. But it's still going to be a good class, and there could be a lot of teams that are selling. So maybe the Leafs pick up a guy at the deadline, or hell, even the Oilers, if they're contending at that point for a playoff spot, at least in the hunt. Maybe that's when they grab a couple defensemen and work their cap a little bit. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but the last rumor, just real quick, it's not really a rumor, but they believe the Leafs are kind of talking with Nylander about a bridge deal or a long-term contract. I would probably think the Leafs would be a little bit easier giving him 6 years. Maybe Nylander's camp's looking for 8. Maybe they're looking for a bridge deal. We don't know. So I'm going to leave this more as a question to you guys with the other questions that I've given you. Because if you guys want to answer all of them, please do that. Nylander, what kind of deal is he going to get? A bridge contract or long term? Let me know in the comments down below. And you guys might as well answer the other questions. Should the Leafs pick up a defenseman now or at the blue line? And what will the Edmonton Oilers do this season, this offseason? And you know, are they going to grab a defenseman? What kind of trades would you put up for Falk and Krug? Realistic trades. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It went longer than I thought it would. If you guys are new, make sure you subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. Let's get to speak English. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers. The t-shirt link is down below if you guys want to grab an Andrew Piluk hockey t-shirt. I lowered the price. It's like $16 American and like 20 Canadian. If you guys want more info on that, hit me up on Twitter at Andy Piluk, ANDYPILUK. Also, if you want to save $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, you can do so using the code APH in all caps. Like I said, $20 off. You can get concert tickets, tickets for games, anything like that. Just check it out. And like I said, the code's down below. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Hit that notification bell. Peace.